Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something fundamental. We're exploring the core principles behind modern health, fitness, and what actually makes training effective. Yeah, our goal here for this deep dive is basically to cut through all the noise. We want to understand, where we stand with health today, why chronic conditions seem so, everywhere, and then critically look at the science-backed path to fitness. And that includes understanding the role of personal trainers.
Exactly. And our main guide for this is the NASM CPT Chapter 1 study guide. That's the National Academy of Sports Medicine's program. But we're also bringing in key info from the CDC, the Cleveland Clinic, and Verywell Health. So we've got a really solid scientific base for this conversation. And really, our mission is pretty straightforward. Pull out the most important bits, the real nuggets of knowledge, to give you a clear, solid understanding of today's health issues and the proven ways to tackle them, getting right to the point.
And this isn't just, abstract stuff. This is genuinely relevant for you, whether you're curious about your own health, maybe thinking about this field professionally, or honestly, just want to make smarter choices. It's about knowing your options. So let's just jump in. Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Chronic conditions. We hear about them constantly, but why? Why are they so incredibly common right now? And what actually makes a condition chronic?
That's really the place to start. It's easy to lump all illnesses together, but there's a big difference between acute and chronic. Acute conditions, like the flu, maybe a sprained ankle, they come on fast, they're short term, usually clear up within 6 months, right? Often need immediate care, but it's temporary. Chronic conditions, though, they're different. They tend to creep up slowly, can get worse over time, and they stick around for longer than 6 months. They need ongoing management. Think heart disease, diabetes, arthritis. The CDC actually defines a chronic disease as one lasting a year or more that needs ongoing medical attention or limits your daily activities. And the burden in the U.S., it's huge. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, they're top causes of death and disability, and lots of people are managing more than one. But here's the really the crucial part, the empowering part. Research points overwhelmingly to 4 modifiable behaviors driving most of these chronic diseases, things you can change. Smoking, poor nutrition, not enough physical activity, and drinking too much alcohol. That's where you have real control. It's not just fate.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Knowing we have agency over those 4 things.
Yeah.
So, okay, if we know that, how do we actually navigate all the health advice out there? Avoid the fads and stick with what genuinely works.
Right. And that's where evidence-based practice comes in. It's fundamental. It means making decisions, whether for a client or for yourself, based on the best available scientific evidence, not just the latest article you saw online or what some celebrity endorses.
So it's about continuous learning.
Absolutely. It means constantly reading up on the research anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, how behavior change actually works. It means only using techniques that are proven safe and effective. And importantly, always factoring in the individual's expectations and values. It's about building a strategy that's solid, that's proven, not just trendy.
Makes perfect sense. Build on the proof, not the hype. Okay, let's dive into some of those key numbers the metrics experts use to gauge health, things you might see on your own checkup result.
Yeah, definitely. One you almost always hear about is BMI, body mass index. It's basically a simple comparison of your weight to your height. Kilograms divided by meters squared, technically.
But it gets a bad rap sometimes, right? Like it doesn't account for muscle mass.
Exactly. That's a key insight. BMI is a screening tool, a starting point, but it's blunt. It can't tell muscle from fat. So you could have a really muscular athlete who registers as overweight on the BMI scale. That's why it's just one piece of information, not the whole picture. But generally speaking, the ranges give us an idea of risk. A BMI between 18.5 and 24.9 is usually considered the healthy range lowest risk. 25 to 29.9 is overweight, linked to a higher risk of chronic issues, and 30 or above enters the obesity categories, where the risk for things like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, it really climbs significantly. And that's where, trainers can really help guide people towards healthier habits.
Okay, building on that risk idea, let's talk blood pressure. It's often called the silent killer. We all get it checked. But what do those numbers actually mean for us?
Great question. Hypertension or high blood pressure is a massive risk factor for heart attack and stroke. The really critical takeaway: consistently being above 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury, or millimeter Hg, is a clear signal your body needs some lifestyle changes.
So break down those numbers for us.
Sure. Normal is the goal. Below 120 systolic, that's the top number, and below 80 diastolic, the bottom number. Elevated is 120 to 129 systolic over less than 80 diastolic. That's your warning sign, time for lifestyle tweaks. Stage 1 hypertension is 130, 139 over 80, 89. Here, lifestyle changes are key, maybe medication. And stage 2 hypertension is a 140 or higher over 90 or higher. That's a serious risk, usually needs medical treatment.
In a top number, systolic, that's pressure when the heart beats.
Exactly. Systolic is the pressure in your arteries when the heart contracts. Diastolic, the bottom number, is the pressure when your heart rests between beats. Understanding both is important.
Very clear. Okay, next up, cholesterol. I hear good and bad cholesterol all the time. What's the actual difference and why should we care?
Right. Cholesterol itself isn't bad. Your body actually needs it for building cells and hormones. But, like many things, too much of the wrong kind is the problem. It can lead to atherosclerosis, which is basically plaque buildup clogging your arteries.
So what are the targets?
Ideally, your total cholesterol should be below 200 milligrams per deciliter. But the breakdown is key. LDL, low-density lipoprotein, that's the bad one. It contributes directly to that plaque buildup. You want this low, ideally below 100 milli-GDL. Then there's HDL, high-density lipoprotein, that's the good cholesterol. Higher levels are protective, ideally above 60 milli-GDL. Think of HDL as the scavenger. It helps remove excess cholesterol from your bloodstream. And while we're on these markers, we should briefly touch on diabetes. Two main types we encounter. Type 1, that's usually diagnosed younger. It's where the pancreas doesn't make enough insulin. So blood sugar gets dangerously high, requires insulin therapy.
I'm type 2.
Type 2 is much more common, especially later in life. Here, your body makes insulin, but your cells become resistant to it. Blood sugar still gets too high. But the good news here is it's often very effectively managed, sometimes even reversed, through those modifiable behaviors we talked about. Physical activity, weight management, diet changes. It really highlights that connection again.
Okay, so those numbers give us a snapshot of internal health. But what about our actual movement? What happens physically when we become inactive for a while?
Yeah, like if you've been injured or maybe just really sedentary, you feel it, right? It's more than just being out of shape. There's a term for that, isn't there? A deconditioned state, what's actually going on.
Exactly. Deconditioned is the term, and it refers to those reversible physiological changes from inactivity. It's not just feeling winded. You actually see measurable declines in muscle strength. Your energy plummets, overall fitness drops. Simple daily tasks can suddenly feel really hard.
And it increases other risks, too. Oh, absolutely. Prolonged inactivity significantly bumps up your risk of falls because your balance and strength decline. It can also contribute to osteoporosis weak bones because lack of movement weakens not just muscles, but bones and even your heart function. It's a systemic effect. And this all relates directly to our musculoskeletal system. This amazing network, bones, muscles, joints, cartilage, tendons, ligaments. It's our body's framework. It gives us structure, support, allows movement, protects our organs. If part of it gets weak from deconditioning, the whole system feels it.
A strong foundation is definitely key. But sometimes the issue isn't just overall weakness, right? It can be more subtle, like imbalances in how we move.
Precisely. That's where we get into muscular imbalances. Think of it as muscles around a joint getting out of sync. Some might be too tight, others too weak or stretched out. It messes with the joint's proper function.
What causes those imbalances?
All sorts of things. Repetitive movements maybe from your job or even a sport. Poor exercise technique is a big one. Having a weak core is another common culprit. Even just bad posture over time can create these imbalances. And left unchecked, they often lead to muscular dysfunction, which is just a term for when things start to go wrong, often resulting in common injuries.
Like what kind of injuries?
Things you hear about all the time. Ankle sprains, plantar fasciitis, that runner's knee, or patellar tendonitis. Sometimes more serious stuff like ACL or MCL, tears in the knee. Lower back pain is frequently linked to imbalances in the lumbopelvic hip complex. Shoulder impingement, neck pain. Many of these stem from underlying imbalances. But the good news, proper exercise technique, balanced strength training, and good flexibility work can prevent a lot of this.
Okay, now this is fascinating. How did your body just know where your arm is, even with your eyes closed? That sense of body position.
Ah, you're talking about proprioception. It's incredible, isn't it? It's essentially your body's internal sense of position and movement in space. You don't need to look to know if your knee is bent or straight.
How does it work?
It relies on specialized sensors called mechanoreceptors. They're embedded in your muscles, ligaments, tendons, and even your skin. They constantly send signals back to your brain about joint angles, muscle tension, and orientation. Your inner ear's vestibular system also plays a huge role in balance and spatial awareness. It's like a constant feedback loop keeping you upright and coordinated. And trainers can actually help improve this. We create what's called a proprioceptively enriched environment. Basically, we introduce controlled instability during exercises, think balancing on one leg, using a stability ball or a wobble board,
Why do that?
because it challenges those internal balance and stabilization systems. It forces your neuromuscular system to work harder, to fine-tune its control. This doesn't just improve balance, it helps correct those muscle imbalances we talked about, improves coordination, reaction time, and ultimately reduces the risk of injury.
That makes a lot of sense. So we understand the body's mechanics a bit better now. What's the best way, based on science, to actually train all these systems together for peak health and performance? Right. This leads us to the idea of integrated training. It sounds comprehensive. It's not just lifting weights or just doing cardio, is it?
Not at all. Integrated training, especially as NASM defines it, is about weaving together all the essential components of fitness. It combines flexibility and mobility work, core strengthening, cardiorespiratory conditioning, balance training, plyometrics, which are explosive movements, speed, agility, and quickness drills, SAQ, and of course, resistance training.
Why combine everything?
Because life isn't compartmentalized. You don't just use your biceps in isolation when you lift groceries, or just your legs when you quickly step off a curb. Real-world movement is complex and dynamic. Integrated training prepares your body for that. It improves overall functional fitness, coordination, and makes you more resilient, less prone to injury, whether you're an athlete or just navigating daily life.
So it's a more holistic approach. And this ties into NASM's core model, doesn't it? The OPT model.
Exactly. The OPT, or Optimum Performance Training model, is NASM's blueprint for structuring this integrated approach. It's systematic, it's progressive. The beauty of it is that it's built in layers, 3 levels, broken down into 5 distinct phases. You have to master one level before effectively moving to the next.
So it builds a foundation first.
Precisely. It prevents people from jumping into really intense stuff before their body is ready, which is where a lot of injuries happen with fad programs. It starts with level 1. Stabilization. The main goal here in phase 1 stabilization endurance is building core strength, improving balance, joint stability, and muscular endurance. Think exercises on unstable surfaces, higher reps, lower weight. You're building that solid base.
Okay, makes sense.
Then what? Then you move to level 2, strength. This has 3 phases. Phase 2, strength endurance. You start combining strength exercises with stabilization work, often using supersets. It builds work capacity. Phase 3, muscular development. This is more traditional hypertrophy training focused on increasing muscle size with moderate reps and heavier loads. Phase 4, maximal strength. Here, the goal is lifting the heaviest weight possible for low reps, really boosting pure strength.
And the final level.
Level 3, power. This contains phase 5, power. This phase is about being explosive, generating force quickly. It combines heavy strength exercises with fast, powerful movements like plyometrics or medicine ball throws. You need the strength base from level 2 to do this safely and effectively. The core idea really is that logical progression. Master stability, then build strength, then develop power. It ensures you develop proper movement patterns and reduces injury risk dramatically. It provides a safe and effective path for literally anyone.
That structured progression seems key. And just to quickly circle back on those components within integrated training: flexibility, mobility for range of motion and injury prevention, core strength for stabilizing everything, balance for proprioception and fall prevention, plyometrics for power, SAQ for reaction and speed, and resistance training for strength and endurance. They all work together in this model. So knowing all this about the body and how to train it effectively, what does this mean if someone's thinking about becoming a personal trainer, or even just trying to understand where trainers fit in the bigger health picture?
Yeah, let's talk about the healthcare continuum. It sounds formal, but where do trainers actually slot in? Are they part of the medical system?
That's a really important point. The healthcare continuum is just a way to visualize the whole spectrum of care, from prevention and wellness through diagnosis and treatment to rehabilitation. Personal trainers play a unique and vital role, often acting as a bridge.
A bridge between what? Often between licensed healthcare providers, doctors, physical therapists, and the general public seeking to improve fitness and well-being. They might work with someone after they finish physical therapy, helping them continue to build strength safely. Or they work preventatively, helping people adopt healthier lifestyles before they need medical intervention. Understanding where they fit is crucial so clients get the right care at the right time. And collaboration is key. Good trainers work alongside other allied health professionals, physical therapists, registered dietitians, chiropractors, athletic trainers, massage therapists. It's about a team approach to the client's overall health.
That collaborative idea makes sense. But what are the actual rules? What can a personal trainer legally do? What's their scope of practice?
Scope of practice is critical. It defines the legal boundaries of what a professional is qualified and permitted to do. For an entry-level certified personal trainer, they primarily work with clients considered apparently healthy, meaning no major diagnosed issues, or those who have specific medical clearance from their doctor to exercise.
So what's their main job then?
Their core function is to conduct fitness assessments, figure out the client's starting point, strengths, weaknesses, and then design safe, effective, science-based exercise programs tailored to that individual's goals. They coach movement, provide motivation, and monitor progress. But here's the crucial part. They must recognize their limits. Trainers cannot diagnose medical conditions. They can't prescribe treatment for injuries. They can't give specific meal plans or detailed nutrition therapy that's the realm of a registered dietitian. If a client needs help beyond the trainer's scope, the trainer has an ethical and professional obligation to refer them to the appropriate healthcare provider.
So no diagnosing injuries or writing diet plans.
Absolutely not. It's about maintaining professionalism, strict client confidentiality, and high ethical standards. The focus is always on client safety, helping them get results effectively within those defined boundaries.
Wow, okay. We've covered a ton today. From understanding why chronic diseases are so prevalent and what those key health numbers, BMI, blood pressure, cholesterol, really mean.
To diving into how our bodies move, the importance of things like proprioception, and the risks of being deconditioned.
And then exploring that systematic, science-backed approach to training with integrated methods and the OPT model.
Yeah, and always coming back to that idea of evidence-based practice, relying on the science, not the fads, and seeing how all these pieces, the health markers, the movement science, the training structure, they all connect for overall well-being, building that strong foundation.
So as you're listening, thinking about your own health or maybe even this field, what does it all mean for you? And here's something to really chew on. Given what we know about chronic diseases being driven so much by behaviors we can change, and seeing how structured models like OPT can effectively guide fitness, how can we better integrate the skills of qualified personal trainers into broader preventative healthcare, moving fitness from just gyms and studios into a real public health strategy? Lots to think about there. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you some valuable insights into navigating your own health and fitness journey. Until next time, stay curious.